All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about Jaron Ennis's trainer and a warning he has for Terence Crawford about the fight he had with David AVANESYAN. I thought that, or AVANESYAN, however you want to pronounce it, very, very solid observations, and says basically, man, dude, no, that is not going to cut that. Guess not going to cut it if you get in there with Errol Spence Jr. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to go over what Jaron Ennis's trainer, BOZY Ennis, had to say about Terence Crawford in his fight with David AVANESYAN, and specifically how it relates to a potential fight with Errol Spence Jr. And his observations, I thought, were very keen, and like most people, keen because I agree with him, right? If I didn't agree with him, maybe I would have something to say about it. But very, very good observations, and problems for Terence Crawford if he goes about doing things a certain way. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're a longtime subscriber or a new subscriber and supporter to the channel, thank you guys so much for continuing to support the channel. It really, really does make a difference when you guys hit the like button, share the video. Also, thank you to everybody out there that supports in the live streams that we do, and supports in the super chats and in the cash apps, and also for people that support in the videos like we do today. Specifically, want to give a big shout out to my man Be Easy. Thank you for the lead on the video that we did last night, and also again, thank you to everybody that supports. Let's get into this. If you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button though. All right, so BOZY Ennis is the trainer for Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis is one of the top young young fighters in all of boxing. I think he's probably one of the best fighters in all of boxing, but as I hear every time I say that from somebody, he's still got to get in there with a major competitor and, improve it, right? Just like Andre Ward said, he says, hey, man, yeah, Jaron Ennis definitely passes the eye test. Got to see in there, got to get in there and see what happens when you get under the pressure and all of that stuff, right? Now, I say that that's probably true and not true at the same time because, hey, we're talking about Terence Crawford in this video, and I'm not sure if Terence Crawford has ever done that. If he's ever really gotten in there with somebody where it was like, okay, let's see what's going to happen when the pressure gets turned up and all of that. He's had a pretty long career not fighting anybody that wound up doing that to him. So you may never find out the answer for Jaron Ennis if he just waxes people for 38, 40 fights because there's nobody there that he either wants to either is there to fight him or that he actually wants to fight. Tough to tell with Terence Crawford, though. However, in this particular instance, we're going to talk about a fight that at least Terence Crawford says half of the time that he wants, and that is with Errol Spence Jr. Now, BOZY Ennis, who's the trainer for Jaron Ennis, as I said, was asked about the fight, and he said, and again, shout out to YSM Sports Media. It is a videographer. I think these guys are really definitely engaged in true journalism out of the BOZY Ennis's gym in Philadelphia. Also have seen him out in more and more different boxing matches, interviewing different people. I think they have some Bob Arum interviews up there, but really good people. You should go check them out. They interview BOZY Ennis and say, hey, what do you think about Terence Crawford's performance against David AVANESYAN? And BOZY Ennis said, hey, man, he did what he's supposed to do, but, he got touched up some. That's what the question person asked him. I mean, the interviewer asked him, he got touched up a little bit. What did you think? He said, well, as far as him fighting Errol Spence Jr., he's starting too slow with Errol Spence. If he fights like that, he's going to have a very difficult time with Errol Spence Jr. because it takes Terence Crawford 3-4 rounds to figure a guy out. And once he figures him out, then he feels comfortable finding the spots and all of that. But against a guy like Errol Spence Jr., that's probably not going to work, because Errol Spence Jr. is really, by the time the 4th and 5th round comes, he really starts picking up the pace around that time. So it's not as if, Errol Spence Jr. is somebody that is going to in the 1st and 2nd round where he's going, where it's going to maintain the same pace in round 5 and round 6. In 5 round and 5, 6, that's when Errol Spence Jr. starts picking it up, really starts going. So in order to beat a guy, according to BOZY Ennis, in order to beat a guy like Errol Spence Jr., you gotta start fast, and you got to be able to go from the beginning. And not quite sure whether or not Terence Crawford is going to take the approach to do that. Now, one of the key things that he said was that this is how Terence Crawford always fights. It's not like this particular situation is where he did that. He does that. He likes to get in there, likes to get in the flow of it, and likes to pick up things, over the course of the fight. And you've seen him do that with Sean Porter. You've seen them do it. You've seen him do it with guys like David Benavidez, where it took Jose Benavidez, where it took him a very, very long time to figure that out, and wound up getting him. I think that was the 11th or 12th round that he wound up getting him. However, with a guy like Errol Spence Jr., that's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot tougher to do. Also, what was noted was that David AVANESYAN was able to stay close to him and be close to him pretty much the entire fight. So the entire 6 rounds. So don't expect, if we actually get to see this fight with Errol Spence don't expect Errol Spence Jr. to be having a hard time locating Terence Crawford. Because that's not what you've seen, and I don't think we've seen that since Victor Postol. We definitely didn't see it in the David AVANESYAN fight. Didn't see that in the Sean Porter fight, right? But you did get some things that were similar between the Porter and AVANESYAN fight, where those guys were trying to get in there without a jab. Where if you're fighting with Errol Spence Jr., Errol Spence Jr. is going to be working his way in there with a jab to the head, a jab to the body. And another major shift between the two of those, and I'm going to say it till I'm purple in the face, is that those guys are both southpaws, right? Now, here's the thing, though. I have been very, very optimistic over the course of the several years that, we've been talking about Terence and Errol fighting. Going into this, now that Terence Crawford has passed David AVANESYAN, I'm not going to be overly optimistic about that fight taking place. It just really does not sound as if that is something that is really high on the priority list of Terence Crawford. And it's kind of like, if all the clouds and everything turns out perfect, then maybe at that point in time, he'll take that fight. But I'm going to do another video on this subject, but seeing as that particular fight didn't do very well, you have to wonder how that is going to affect Terence Crawford being able to negotiate a fight with Errol Spence. Because, if you do what was rumored to be the pay-per-view buys for that fight, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, they have to look at it like, man, why am I even giving you 30% if you're doing pay-per-views, that level of pay-per-view sale against David AVANESYAN, It makes it seem like it's going to even be harder for him to get the big guarantee and all of that stuff that he wants, especially seeing as he really didn't even get one for this fight, according to the reports that are out there, at least. Anyway, that's the subject matter for another video, but, hopefully we get to see it. But here I said that word, hopefully. That's a lot. When you say hopefully, man, there's a lot of doubt in that. You know what I mean? But anyway, you let me know what you think in the comment section, and with that, I'm out. Peace.